Assalamualaikum to Dora. Today our group will present what we learn and get from the course of FST 302 Makanan Halal. So throughout the discussion, we have combined all the opinion that we will discuss about the description of this course, the aspect particularly challenging from this course, does it tie with anything we had learned in the past, has it changed the way we think, the knowledge that we gain from this course, and lastly, we will summarize what we had get from this course. So based on this reflective video, we agree to represent each of the point by person that we had discussed before.
So before we start, I will introduce myself. So my name is Nufarisha binti Yusri. My matric number 205214. So from our discussion, the identification of halal food is those food items that are acceptable in Islam, whereas haram food items are toxic or harmful and is not fit for eating or consumption by Muslim. Animals that are not killed in the name of Allah by a Muslim or in accordance with Islamic ritual are therefore regarded as haram. To produce a halal finished product, the raw material and ingredient employed must follow the halal and tayyiban principle. So food safety is a crucial factor that must be taken into consideration when producing halal food for Muslim consumer. So the most important things that need to be considered when producing halal food are the ingredient or raw material that we use. So it is crucial for importer to verify that each raw material complies with the halal food requirement and that it has been certified as halal by a recognized religious authority in the exporting nation as well as by Malaysian authorities. So other than that, consumer also can determine whether a product is actually halal by looking at the halal logo on the product packaging. So the consumer also its function to inform the Muslim whether the product is allowed to purchase in Islam by listing the ingredient or content of the food items. In addition, Malaysia has not yet approved any act or regulation expressly for halal food in order to oversee the halal food chain. So this is because we learn about specific halal food acts and rule in halal course. This law will defend the right of anyone who consume halal food, particularly Muslim. Additionally, it must be founded on Sharia law. There are many organizations involved in the control of halal food. This approach is done by various agencies, but their activities are headed by Department of Islamic Development, JAKIM. JAKIM will produce the halal certificate and logo. So they are responsible for making assessment on food processing and slaughter premise periodically when in doubt or after receiving complaint from the public. So what function we use the certificate and logo? Certificate is a control mechanism for food handlers, importers, and food service providers who are using official logo and halal sign. By using the certificate and logos, we will let the customer know whether a product has a government approval or not. And to obtain the official logo, importers and food handlers providers must first apply for the certificate and get approval for the certificate. So that's all from my part.
Hello everyone, my name is Dita Jane with Metro number 206806. I am from Group 5. I will talk about the analysis part, whether this course is interesting or very challenging. For me, before I thought taking this course, so I am a non-Muslim student, so I think the food that do not contain pork or alcoholic substance only can be considered as halal. But after taking this course, halal food is not simple as I think before. There are many aspects that need to be considered, from the raw ingredients, processing methods, packaging, storage, until the food reaches to customer hand. So other than that, halal food is not just for Muslim. Also, after I take this course, which but non-Muslim also can consume this food, as this food is processed according to a regulation with the known source of raw ingredients with the certification. So the raw ingredient is basically safe for human consumption. Therefore, halal quality management. Other than that, halal quality management. I also learned some halal quality management legislation and enforcement by different agency. So these agencies are important to monitor the halal food so that this food is considered to be safe to consume by all people, including the Muslim and non-Muslim people. So for the for the this is does it tie in the anything you have done in the past? Yes, for me is yes. Because I have taken one subject which is the animal product processing. So in this semester, so from the course, I know that the quality of the meat is important is affected by the is affected by the raw meat, which will also affect the final product in terms of texture and quality. So after I taking this course, the welfare of animal before slaughtering must be taken account so that it will not affect the meat that will decrease the quality. So for the engineering part, I think is the the nowadays about the nowadays that how to produce a halal food. So from the farm to the fork, and traceability is still limited nowadays. So I think it's challenging for the and challenging and difficult for the Muslim to ensure that the halal status of food in the market because the food processing industry and it's become more difficult and the increasing trade risk compared to the past. So supervision and authentication are required to be embedded in every single operation from farm to fork to prevent any alteration of non-halal or unsourced raw ingredient and negation of halal Taliban concept in the manufacturing as these are major concerns issue in the global food trade. From this course, I also learned the halal size is by applying the halal size by analytical methods to identify the non-halal problem in food product to ensure to ensure it compliant with the Islamic religious requirement during the class. Throughout the case study, I also from the journals, I mean, there are some more modern scientific education for to detect the animal species before processing to ensure the animals are halal to be consumed by Muslim or non-Muslim without any mislabeling to the substitution with other species to prevent the sustainability issue and enhance the traceability.
My name is Nurina Batisha bin Muhammad Rusli. My mental number is 205274. I get the point that is state does it tie with anything we have learned in the past? So yes, it is tied with a few things from what we had learned in the past. For example, we learned about slaughtering in high school. We also get the experience of slaughtering animals. So from that, we get some knowledge about how actually slaughtering should be done in Islam. Other than that, during Eid al-Adha, we usually see how the animals had been slaughtering. This experience also made us know more about the slaughtering process, how the animals should be treated before slaughter, and others more. However, halal course had made us know better and get deeper knowledge regarding to halal food, especially about slaughtering, halal certificate, food ingredients, and others more. Before we learn halal courses, we only know the basic knowledge about slaughtering, like the animals need to be slaughtered not in front of the artist animal. However, in this course, we had know there is many conditions of animals we should care before slaughtering process. Not only their condition, but the slaughter method itself should be focused on, so that people slaughtered the animals in the right manner. Apart from that, regarding to halal certification, we only knew that if the restaurant have the halal certification, it means the restaurant are trusted to dine in or take away of their food, especially a Muslim. However, from this halal course, we had realized that the halal certification had the expired date, and if the restaurant had the halal certification with the expired date, it would be considered as illegal certification, and we as a consumer should be asked them for safety purpose. Also, we only know that the halal logo is a representative to the food, whether the food is halal to be eaten or not as a Muslim. However, after After learning this course, we realized that halal logo also represent the quality of the food, which means the hygiene that traces to the food or during preparation of food is also considered to get the halal logo. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Hi and Assalamualaikum to all. So my name is Namazina binti Marzuki with metric number 2059883. So today we want to share with all of you what this subject is all about. Before we are taking this subject, only think about the halal logo, halal certificate, halal ingredients and so on if someone is telling us to consume halal food. But actually it's not about what we think. So this subject has changed our thinking, which is halal now has become a universal concept. Halal is a term exclusively used in Islam, which means permitted to all of food. There are no parties that can claim the food is halal without complying with Islamic law and certification of halal. As a Muslim, we must consume food that is halal and tayyiban. Before this, we assume that halal food is only about the stall or food that have halal certificate and halal logo. But actually, the wholesomeness concept of halal, which covers not only the Sharia requirement, but also the sustainability concept of hygiene, sanitation, and safety aspect, makes halal food readily acceptable by consumers. In addition, halal accreditation is considered as the benchmark for food safety, quality assurance, and many beneficial characteristics which are not only to be enjoyed by Muslim consumers but also meant for non-Muslim consumers. So I will pass to the next. Thank you.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Udina Masha with matrix number 206613. So from what we all get during our learning on halal subject, halal is not just in terms of food. For example, brush that we found that brush that also made out from haram origins such like pig hair, and also there are a lot of ways to prevent us from haram source and directly stimulate science development. So we also learn about animal welfare upon slaughtering. Islam has also laid down rules for human slaughter. In many countries, animals are killed without pre-stunning. So regardless of pre-stunning, such meat should not be treated as halal because the animals have been treated without compassion during production, handling, transport, and also slaughter. So we also found that animal care is important before slaughtered because this will make them stress free and the quality of the meat produced will be improved as the PSE or the pale soft exudative and also the DFD dark firm dry meat quality is able to minimize. So throughout our learning process, we are also able to differentiate and identify the ingredients and food additive as well as their function in relation to halal food production. So halal food processing ingredients must and should come from a halal source, and the processing must be carried out in accordance with Islamic rules and regulation.
Alright, thank you to my members for the presentation of discussion regarding the challenges, knowledge gain, the impact to us after learning halal, so on and so forth. So here is Limja with metric number 206980. To conclude, we learned about the identification of halal and haram in this course. As food manufacturers in the future, we are exposed to responsibility to ensure the food is prepared with halalan toibat concept from farm to fork. This means that we care about the animal welfare of slaughtering, the source of ingredient and additives used, and the cleanliness of equipment used in order to prepare clean, safe, and healthy food. Every single step may cause the food to become haram from the lacking of halal knowledge. Hence, the implement of halal knowledge in the food industry career is important. To maintain the enforcement of halal, regulation and legislation related to halal food analysis, halal standard, both are important. But again, we did not have an independent and completely written act regarding halal in Malaysia. This leads to the difficulty in making sure halal concept is applied throughout the manufacturing process. As a Muslim majority countries, that is one of the ways that we could put more effort on it to achieve improvement in applying halal. We had exposed that halal certification and logo act as the important marketing tool in Malaysia as well as to the overseas. The development of halal market is potential, so why not we grab this chance to stand in the eye of the world? I think that's all from us. Thank you for listening, and we feel thankful to enroll in this course FST 3602. Again, thank you.